Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to give a brief recognition to a group of folks who came with me from Washington, D.C., who helped us put together the program. With the Positive Black Folk in Action Committee, please stand for a second. The letter that I'm going to read to you, written by Brother Malcolm, is written to Earl Grant. Earl was one of the most brilliant people I ever met in my life. He was a mathematician. I mean, he was talking about some of the stuff that is going on today back in the 60s. You know, all the computer stuff. I mean, I'm still computer illiterate. But he was talking about some of the things that are going on now, and he was one of Brother Malcolm's top aides. And I'm going to read you a letter that Brother Malcolm wrote to Earl. And it's very important because it shows both Brother Malcolm, the human being, the warm brother, as well as Brother Malcolm, the international strategist. That's something that is very important to remember. The period 1965, 1965, there was rampant terrorism being practiced by white supremacists in this society. Absolutely. That's the only way you can describe it. Terrorism. And Brother Malcolm was responding to that terrorism. And one of the things that he thought might be a very effective way of doing that was to internationalize the movement, by connecting it with the movement that was going on the African continent, especially to rid itself of colonialism. And he made a concerted effort during those last 2 months of his life to do that, to bring about that change. And you have, of course, that leads you to understand that in that CNN program where they quoted Jaaber to say, do something about Malcolm X. That is exactly what he was responding to, what Brother Malcolm was trying to do on the international level. It's very important. So most of the academics and the journalist types who write about him, they completely ignore what he was doing internationally. They want to limit his assassination to just another case of black on black crime. And let it go, and we know that. Okay, here's the letter that he wrote to Earl Grant. My dear brother, your letter was awaiting me upon my return to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, 2 days ago, and I was very pleased to hear from you, especially to learn that you are expecting a new addition to your family. This is a real blessing and proves that what we sometimes are told by others is impossible is actually made very easy as long as we don't become discouraged and give up. No one knows what can and cannot be accomplished until all efforts toward that end has been expended. Experience has taught me never to let my aims and my efforts be determined by what people say can't be done. I pray Allah will bless you and your wife with a very healthy child, and that may bring much deserved added happiness into your lives. It hurts me to think that you feel you have outlived your usefulness to me. And he got this usefulness, quote unquote, is not the yardstick I use to measure what I feel has always been a very warm personal relationship between us. Ours has never been a minister to Muslim relationship. It has always been brother to brother. And on this basis, we have confided many of your personal feelings and problems to me, and in turn, I have done the same with you. As for my part, that warm, brotherly relationship has never faded. Just before I left the States, you were working nights with your wife. Your wife had just given birth. There was a variety of factors trying to get a shot at me, so they could blame it on someone else. I was busily trying to lay the foundation for the OAAU while still preparing to leave. And mainly, I was trying to stay healthy and alive. Right, during all of that time, it seemed that Charles had a car, and working hours made him most readily available. Thanks for your frank letter. Real brothers always do feel free to be frank with each other. Frankness eliminates misunderstanding. Nothing that has developed there since my departure has caught me unaware. You have a good knowledge of the history of revolutionary movements, and ours that. They all go through a growing pain, especially with the absence of strong personal leadership. Everything that has happened and is happening among us all is part of our ultimate development. You should be the happiest of those whom I left behind, because you have the most mature outlook on things, especially to the quote-unquote international context. Everything that I came here to do has been done with maximum success, and I am putting the quote-unquote finishing touches on the cake right now. Now remember that line. I'm writing this from Africa. Everything that I have to do has been done with maximum success, and I am putting the finishing touch, quote-unquote, on the cake right now. We are now more firmly fitted into and supported by quote-unquote world forces than we could ever have imagined previously. And I've had to remain here this long to rightly lay the foundation. It has been a great personal sacrifice for my family, because I left them at a time when they actually needed me most. But the potential gains have been worth the risk. You and many others have made great sacrifices, but I believe no one will regret it in the long run. This trip has changed me tremendously. When I return and express my personal outlook on life, there may be some who may want someone else to lead them. My best to Higgins and also to your family. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Malcolm X. P.S. Please don't think that I could ever again be unaware of the history of Judas. End of the letter.
If I can call board members Sheikh to the stage, and Ilyasah Shabazz, Hajj Ilyasah Shabazz, actually. It's a title for someone who's done their pilgrimage to Mecca, and she, like her father, has done so. But 50 years ago, and I think probably Ilyasah would be better to tell you that 50 years ago, the family, of course, thanked the church and funeral home that held the body of Malcolm when others didn't, and the imam who came forward and provided the services when others didn't. And today, the board and the family want to recognize this institution and the individual with Courage Awards. And we want to do it in a very public way, in a very special occasion. Whispering to someone or giving them a hug is wonderful. But the challenge is that, the passing of Brother Malcolm, the martyrdom Brother Malcolm had on the entire community was profound. And people were scared by his power. What could happen in a situation like this? And this institution, this imam came forward. We want to honor them. I think Ilyasah wants to say a word, and then we're going to bring out the awards and invite them up to receive them publicly. And after 50 years, it's been a long time coming publicly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, on behalf of my family, for coming here and spending this time with us. It's a very special time, and so I'm very, very grateful to you. And I want to also acknowledge my family and friends who, who are here, who want to stand up for me. When our father was martyred, there were not many churches that would accept the body of Brother Malcolm X, because because a lot of us were afraid. And so there was one church that accepted our father's body, and that is the Child's Memorial Temple Church of God in Christ. Is there a representative here? Well, we are absolutely grateful to them, and we're so happy that the board could put together this beautiful award for them.
Child's Memorial Church is right around the corner from where I live. And I remember Dr. Shabazz shuttling from one activity to another on these days. And I told her about the activities that were happening at the church. And she would always send a message, tell them, I'm coming, I'm on my way. So we really do have to honor them for opening up their doors and their hearts and honoring someone and upholding their dignity and integrity. So we're forever indebted to them for that.
And also Sister Aisha, when our mother was transitioning, Sister Aisha used to go into the room every single day, and she would play Quranic recitations for our mother. So Sister Aisha, when I say that I love you, it comes from my family and so many others. Thank you very, very, very much. And I know Suhaila is in the audience. Where are you, Suhaila? Because I haven't seen you in about 50 years. Can you stand up, please? And this next award is for Hajj Hasham Jaaber. I don't know if his son is here?
No, but I came into Islam under Islam.
Okay, so what are you saying that you want to
That's
say?
past. The sons are.
Right, Imam Ali Jaaber, right? I made my Hajj with Imam Ali Jaaber. Would you like to explain who he is? So I'm going to read this, and Sister Aisha is going to tell you about this great brother. In recognition and appreciation of your courage in upholding the honor and dignity of our Black Shining Prince, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz Malcolm X, we are extremely grateful.
Again, Hajj Hisham Jaaber, if you recall any of those photographs of the funeral at the Child Memorial Church, you'll see Dr. Shabazz standing in front of the casket, and you'll see a tall man wearing a head covering next to her. That's Hajj Hisham Jaaber. And again, those were very turbulent times.
Yes.
And people had to walk with ways to protect themselves. And it's a testament to this man's integrity that he was in no way going to allow Hajj Malik to be funeralized without having an Islamic funeral process for him. So he came from New Jersey to make sure that that happened. And I think that it has to speak volumes for the courage of a man and their commitment to upholding principles. So Hajj Hisham Jaaber also performed janazah prayer for Dr. Shabazz when she passed. So, and they also escorted Ilyasah on Hajj. So there are deep connections here. and we're forever grateful to this family. So Ali Jaaber, who is now the imam of one of the largest mosques in New Jersey, was trying to get here, but I don't know, perhaps the weather held them up. But again, we want to honor these people who have the courage to stand up for the truth and uphold the dignity of our people, and in this case, Al-Hajj Malika Shabazz.
And if we also could, my mother would probably be like, no, you didn't say anything about your mommy. But, I just want to say something about my mother. My mother was responsible for this beautiful mural on the wall. She wanted to make sure that there were key moments of my father's life that would be of importance to this generation. She was absolutely meticulous, making sure that even, for instance, that her baby, there was, well, first of all, it was Daniel Galvez who was commissioned to do this beautiful work, and when there was she's pointing there in the middle with her 3 little girls, Atila, Kabila, and myself, Ilyasah, pointing to where Daddy was in Africa, and she said my 4th daughter would feel neglected, so they put a bassinet there. My mother was a perfectionist and she believed in inclusion. And then also she wanted to make sure that the ring was positioned correctly. My mother was absolutely amazing. She wanted to turn this place that represented tragedy to her into a place of triumph, so that her husband's work could continue, not so that he could shine, but so that we could shine as recipients of this great work. And so we are absolutely indebted to you. We ask that you continue to keep our leaders up for our children so that we preserve our history, we honor those upon whose shoulders we stand, and especially yourselves, and please give yourselves a round of applause.